What's up, guys? It's your favorite Q coach. Welcome to another professional golf swing analysis. It's going to be the first one in 2020. It's going to be Colin Morikawa, and let's jump into this thing. So welcome back to the channel, guys. If you guys are new to Kiwi Golf Japan, make sure to hit that little red subscribe button, smash the like button, leave a comment, share this video. This is going to be a very interesting video, so let's go hop into the first part. Alright guys, so we got Colin Morikawa, a very popular player currently right now. A lot of you guys wanted to get a professional golf swing analysis of him, so we're going to break this up into two parts. This first part, we're really going to be going over stats and kind of making a case of why this player is becoming one of the best players on the PGA Tour. And then in the second video, we're going to be analyzing his golf swing, maybe looking at his swing in depth, seeing what's good, what's bad, all that good stuff. So let's hop into kind of a little bit of his summary first, and we're going to hop into the stats. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick look at Colin Morikawa's biography, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. It's hard for me to pronounce, but let's go take a look. So started playing golf when he was roughly right around 5. From there, he met a coach that put a lot of emphasis on playing on the course and not necessarily working on his golf swing. From there, he played for Cal. He won a bunch of college tournaments. I think he won a bunch of junior tournaments as well. I didn't really do the research on that. You guys can go research it yourself. But the real important part for me in terms of the PGA Tour and doing a professional golf swing analysis from a PGA Tour player is that within his first 9 starts on the PGA Tour, he won a tournament, right? Which basically put him in the league of Matthew Wolff, Adam Long, Cameron Champ, right? Those are some recent young players who came out and within their first 9 starts won on the PGA Tour, which is just amazing, right? In those first 9 starts too, I think he also had a tie for second at the 3M Open. He also had, I think, another top 10 maybe the week after his win as well. So finished off 2019 very, very hot and was playing some great golf. Now from here, another quick little bio is basically, I just want to talk a little bit about his coach again, because I know we just talked about it, that you focused on playing on the course, but I think his coach probably had a big influence from what I'm reading about in this biography. Just spent a lot of time with him on the course, which is going to be something that I think, especially in Japan, where a lot of you guys are on the driving range all the time trying to have the perfect swing, I think is going to be different and maybe something that a lot of you guys out there need. Now, I know it's hard in Japan to do it just because the way the course is set up, it's super expensive for a lot of you guys, and the range is a lot cheaper, but you got to put in the time, especially if you want to play on the JPJ or you want to be a really good player. You definitely got to go do that. But anyways, that's pretty much his background. Let's go take a look at some of his stats. I think you guys are going to find this. It's going to be an interesting kind of take on this player, because he definitely breaks the mold from the traditional young gun, hits the ball super far type of player. So let's go hop in. All right, guys, so I'm on the PGAtour.com. We're going to take a look at the stats. Really, first off, before we go into strokes gained, because I think strokes gained is really going to tell the story, let's just go over the basic standard stats. And then this is going to be a great example of why the standard stats can tend to be a little bit misleading. So in terms of driving distance, he's right around 290.9 yards. This is in the year of 2020. I believe in 2019, he was like 6 yards longer than that, measured through 32 rounds, right? Because he didn't obviously play a lot of 2019. And he's just starting out at 2020. So these were obviously, in the future, we might do a recap and do another video on this, because there's probably a lot more data that we're going to be looking into. Now, in terms of driving accuracy percentage, this year, currently, he's 67.56%, which is placing him 48th in the PGA Tour. I think last year he had 72% in terms of driving accuracy. And again, that was through 32 rounds. This is through 16 rounds. So 48th is definitely a... in terms of hitting at 290 yards, 67.56% is pretty damn accurate, right? So he's a very accurate in terms of hitting fairways. Now, greens and regulation percentage, he's right around 70.37, which is kind of pretty good, but nothing like too special there. Eagles, he has 144, so, oh, no, never mind, sorry. Holes per eagle, he has 144 holes until he gets an eagle. Yeah, that's not really an important stat, but birdie average is 4.29 per round. That's 38th on PGA Tour. That's obviously a good sign. Scoring average is right around 70.186. That's 40th on the PGA Tour through 16 rounds, mind you, right? If it was through a whole season, 70.186 would not be 40th place, right? So we're probably going to see his scoring average go down. I think in 2019, his scoring average through 32 rounds was roughly like 69, almost 68. So obviously he's scoring very, very well. Sand save percentage, right around 64.29%, placing him at 31st. FedEx regular season points, 260 points, 43rd. Official money, $599,408. That places him at 45th. And then official world golf ranking, 53rd, which is a huge jump from where he was in 2019, obviously just starting his professional career. So let's go make a case on kind of why, with these stats right now, it's really hard to tell how he's going to be a standout player like he is. So let's go show you guys that. All right, guys, so up on the screen, you should be looking at the strokes gained on the PGA Tour website. Now, like I was saying earlier, if you look at the traditional stats, there's nothing really pointing to him being a stellar player, right? There's nothing in there that says this player is going to take and dominate the PGA Tour. But if we start taking a look at the strokes gained category and we kind of take a look at stats that are a little bit better in terms of going more in depth to what actually constitutes good golf. Again, remember, strokes gained was basically created for Tiger Woods, right? Because if you looked at Tiger Woods' traditional stats, nothing in his traditional stats really pointing to Tiger Woods being like this standout player. Maybe his driving distance was the only stat that he was pretty highly ranked in. Everything else, he was kind of mediocre. But once we created something called strokes gained, which I think I have a video here on my Japanese channel. If I don't, I'll probably make another one here coming up soon. But what strokes gained essentially does is it measures your, let's say your actions is the best way to say it, against the field. So if you hit a drive 290 yards in the fairway on a 440-yard hole, let's say, that's going to rank you somewhere in terms of gaining a stroke or not relative to the field. That's like the simplified version. But really what it does, because it ranks you against the field, it's a lot more accurate in predicting what player is going to be dominant. So let's real quickly go over some of these stats and then show you kind of how this is going to make Colin stand out on the PGA Tour. So the first big stat that a lot of people look at is going to be the strokes gained off the tee stat. Now, predominantly, we're seeing that a lot of the players dominating on tour, the Rory McIlroys, Cameron Champ's not really dominating, but he was dominating for a second, but Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, a lot of those guys that have had a lot of wins, won some majors, they usually dominate and get a lot of their strokes gained relative to the field off the tee. Now, Colin Morikawa is not really an exception, but definitely doesn't dominate as much as they were. Like, for example, I remember in 2018, I think Dustin Johnson was number 1 or number 2 in strokes gained off the tee. Colin is right around 53rd place, gaining right around 0.319 strokes gained off the tee relative to the field. Now, this is only measured through 16 rounds in 2020, so I'd be interested to see kind of how this plays out through the rest of the season. Because again, he doesn't hit it abnormally far. He only hits it right around 290 to 296 total. But in 2019, he had 72% of his fairways hit through 32 rounds. So it'd be very interesting to see that model player and how they rank up in terms of strokes gained off the tee. Because I think if you can hit 72% of your fairways and you hit it 290, 300 range, you could probably be one of the best in terms of getting strokes gained off the tee out of anyone on the PGA Tour. So that's an interesting stat. We'll probably have to obviously see the whole season to see if it kind of gets better. We'll see what happens. Now, in terms of where he really makes his money, it's going to be strokes gained approach to the green, basically. So his second shot on par 4s or maybe his third shot on par 5s, right? Approach to the green. So he currently gains 0.913 or almost a whole stroke relative to the field every single round. And that places him 16th place on the PGA Tour. So he's a very good approach player, right? And that's something that you've seen in a lot of good players throughout the years, right? Jack Nicklaus, Ben Hogan, Tiger Woods, they're all really, really good approach players. So definitely something that's very, that's going for him. That's a good thing. Let's go take a look at strokes gained around the green. Now, strokes gained around the green, he's gaining right around 0.125 relative to the field. Not horrible, not good, right around 84th place on the PGA Tour. Strokes gained putting, he's getting 0.026 relative to the field. So 109th on the PGA Tour, definitely not a great putter by any means, but not the worst. Definitely not the worst. I've seen a lot worse than that. Strokes gained T2 green, right around 1.358. That places him 14th on the PGA Tour, right? So basically, the strokes gained T2 green is basically a combination of strokes gained off the tee and then strokes gained approach to the green. Those two combined is giving right around 1.358, 14th on the PGA Tour. Very, very, very impressive. And then strokes gained total 1.384, which is placing him 20th on the PGA Tour through 16 rounds, right? Which is an incredible stat. So basically, understanding these strokes gained categories, we can really kind of see where he's kind of dominating and where he's going to hopefully improve and really take over the PGA Tour. If he can kind of improve a little bit, I think strokes gained off the tee needs to get a little bit better. And I think strokes gained approach to the green can kind of stay where it is and maybe get a little bit better as well. But really, he's dominating with his approach game. So that's an incredible thing. Now, real quickly, I kind of want to bring up a common theme we've been seeing in terms of strokes gained throughout the last like 4 to 5 years. So typically we're seeing the top 10 players in the official golf world ranking hitting it over 300 yards, and then their driving accuracy is roughly right around kind of 55% range to about 65% range. And predominantly you're seeing a lot of players are longer and not so accurate, right? Those are the players dominating the PGA Tour. Now, is that universally true? Not necessarily, right? So there's Francisco Molinari, who was, I think, 290 average off the tee, and not even really that accurate either. I think back in the day when he was, I think that was 2018, so I think he was right around 65%, which is not bad by any means, but definitely not one of the straightest hitters. But there's definitely players that break the mold of that saying, but predominantly that's what you're seeing. Now, Colin, obviously, unless he does something different with his swing in the future and he gains some yards, currently he's definitely nowhere near one of the longest hitters on the PGA Tour, but he is probably going to be close to one of the most accurate. So it's going to be interesting to see a player like that come out and compete on the PGA Tour. Because again, the PGA Tour is predominantly made for the bombers, right? A lot of the courses they play are 7,200 yards plus. Greens are super quick. Fairways are usually firm unless it rains. It's really geared for the longer hitter. So can he play a full PGA Tour season and continue being one of the best players on the PGA Tour? That's going to be a really interesting thing to kind of see. Obviously, his strokes gained in terms of like his approach play is very, very, very good. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I want to see it play out. I don't know if he's going to be one of those guys that can compete just because of the distance factor, but I could be completely wrong. Now, real quickly, let's sum up with this really good article by the PGA Tour talking about kind of his golf IQ and the reason why he's so dominant of late. Because his coach, essentially, when he was about right around when he started, or actually probably 5 years when he started playing, he had a coach that put more emphasis on playing on the coach, or more emphasis on playing on the course than working on the range and working on their golf swing. So that is why they're saying he's playing so well, because he knows his own game. That could be maybe another video in itself, which we could definitely do if you guys are interested. Leave a comment. Let me know if you guys would be interested in hearing that. But yeah, this is basically the basic rundown. I think next video you're going to really enjoy the swing analysis, because there are some major flaws, in my personal opinion, that I've seen in his golf swing. But obviously his approach play is brilliant. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy the rest of this video series with Colin Moริca, and hopefully, I know I butchered his name, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys again soon.